This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, welcome back everyone. So, till the last session, what was covered was all related to your concepts, along with ending it with a illustrative example, and then we looked into some sort of Scrum fundamentals. And I would say that the major or the most beneficial part of the entire course is what is going to happen from this particular video onwards, because this is the step wherein you're going to put into practice whatever you have understood till now. And this is also the particular set of video from where your efforts, personally, now it's not just about listening to some concepts and just making quick notes and going through it. That would not be enough. Rather, what would be required at this point of time from this particular video is that you should put in your thought process, and you should create the required documents, wireframes, test cases. Okay. And I would definitely say that this is not something which is out of your control, or something which is very complex activity, or something which you will never be able to do. It's not that way. Okay. Whatever you have learned or whatever you have seen in the illustrative example, okay, you can go through those videos if you want again, and that should give you a good, base level from which you can start. Okay. So let's get into the project. So when I say capstone project, it is nothing but the final part of the your course, wherein you focus on putting all of those things into a practical approach. Okay, so consider this that right now you are the business analyst, and you are getting the requirements related details through these videos, and you're supposed to do the initial documentation part. Okay, so let's get into the details of this. First of all, the project that we are talking about would be something which is pretty much easy to understand, not something which is related to a core domain, anything like that, but rather something which you can really, uh, something which you have been using day in and day out, and you are very well aware of the process, and now you are going to work on something which is going to make it much more user friendly. Okay, so here the client is a banking client. For the sake of simplicity, let's consider that we are talking about a major bank headquartered in US, which has its operations in multiple countries all across the world. So, for example, we can consider Citibank. Okay, so now our client here. Okay, assume yourself to be a business analyst in a service-based company, something like a TCS or a Wipro or a Capgemini or a Cognizant, or any other typical, service company. Now your client is Citibank, and Citibank has come up with a, let me put it like this. Okay, Citibank has come up with a major problem statement. Now, what is the problem statement? So, when you talk about Citibank, it again offers multiple banking services. So, all of us typically know about the banking services, like take loans, or get a credit card or a debit card, use the ATM services, and all those things. So, all of these things come under something called as retail banking group. Okay, that is the RBG. But apart from this, big banks also provide some investment solutions, some sort of other products, and they have direct dealings with the governments, and with big corporate banking, investment banking, a lot of other things would be there. But here again, we are focusing on retail banking. Okay, so within RBG, what is the point here? The point is that Citibank wants to increase the efficiency of its services that is providing to the customers. And as part of it, what it has identified is that when the customers, uh, want to withdraw money from the ATM, okay, typically what we always do, right? We have our debit cards or credit cards. Mostly we use our debit cards. When you go to an ATM, you insert the card and get the money. So that's your normal process of withdrawing money. So what Citibank has identified is, on an average, on an average, what do you think would be the time that a customer spends at an ATM when trying to withdraw money? When I say average, again, you need to look at it from the perspective of what is the maximum time that goes into it and what's the minimum time, and between that, the median that would become your average. Okay, so let's say that Citibank has identified that average time taken to withdraw money from an ATM is around 2 minutes. Okay, so what it means is whenever a customer goes to withdraw money, right from the time that they have stepped into the ATM, that kiosk or ATM center or whatever it is, right from the time they have entered there till the time they withdraw money and get the withdrawal slip generated, and they get the ATM card back. It takes around 2 minutes. So now the bank sees that this is a problem statement because 2 minutes is actually a little longer time, right? If you see, you're expecting every customer to spend around 2 minutes. So roughly, if there are just around, some 15, 20 people at a major mall where there's a Citibank ATM, if there are just around 20 people who are at that particular point of time waiting for withdrawing the money, it takes around more than a half an hour. It takes around 40 minutes. So now what can be done to reduce this time? Okay. And what is the target that the Citibank has here? Maybe, reduce it to say less than 20 seconds. That's a huge improvement, right? You're reducing the overall time, which is around 2 minutes, to an average of less than 20 seconds, which is roughly how much? One sixth, right? So now Citibank is saying that this is what our customers are doing. This is the issue being faced by them, and we want to reduce it. Now, if you look at it, the entire process of inserting the card and getting the money and all, it's all a software application, right? So though it's a bank, and though Citibank is a bank which is holding current accounts and savings accounts of the customers and providing the customers with the debit card and all, the process of withdrawing money that happens at an ATM center, it's completely a software process. So Citibank as such may set up a target, may talk about a particular process, but in order to make it happen, it has to rely on the underlying software which is allowing the customers to withdraw the money. So that's where, that is how not just banks, your healthcare, your logistics, your manufacturing, your pharmacy, your any other domain that you talk about, every domain is always using some software in the backend. And that is the reason why you have a lot of IT projects coming up day in and day out. Anyways, coming back to our question. So here the problem statement is that the ATM withdrawal time has to reduce to less than 20 seconds, what is actually right now at standing at around average of 2 minutes. Okay. In fact, when a particular project lands up in the lap of an IT company, it doesn't come at this level. It actually drills down to one more level where it will also be made clear as to how this should happen, and then it is told to the company that this is what we want to be implemented. But let's just consider ourselves to be a step above a typical IT business analyst. Okay, think about yourself to be a normal business analyst, non-tech BA. Then, if this particular problem statement is supposed to be looked into, what would you do? And what would be the suggestions that you would give? Okay, think about it. Okay, spend some time. Maybe if you want to do some research and maybe search on the net, whatever it is, you do all those things and come up with at least 2 3 ways in which you think it is possible to reduce the average time to less than 20 seconds. And only after doing that, okay, only after doing that, go towards the next video. Okay, from next video onwards, it will be a little more of software application based, how it can work and all those things will be looked into. Of course, there are also a lot of business problem statements will come into picture, which requires a little bit of brainstorm and all those things, but this is the high level thing. Okay, now you might say that no, this is not how it works, Ranjit. IT projects will be a little different wherein you're already told what to implement and all. I totally agree. So whatever this exercise which you're going to do before you watch the next video, this is something which usually people do at the particular client level itself. Okay, so This need not be a mandatory step when you work in a business analyst setup, but this gives you an understanding of how projects get designed also at the client side. Because eventually you might even want to work as a business analyst right now, but later, you would think of how these projects are getting produced, or how these are getting ideated at the client side, so that you can contribute it and lead to more additional projects coming to your company, so on and so forth. So there's nothing lost in trying to understand this. So spend some time, look at least 2 3 approaches that come to your mind, put it on paper, think through it, and then after doing that, go to the next video. Okay, we'll get additional details from that next video. Okay, so we'll stop this video here. Thanks everyone.